something?
Yes. Hello,
Hello.
balls. What is this
Like, yeah,
live
I just
stream
scrambled all my
situation?
settings on entry.
There's a live stream of us. If you have the right link, yeah, I can hear myself, and it's like half a second delayed. Say something.
Oh. Hello, 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 hello.
It says request live call in at the bottom, so somebody can like join the podcast.
Spooky.
That's crazy. That's super cool.
Just randomly give the link out to people.
Patreons. It's like
Hello.
live OnlyFans.
Good morning.
It's been a while.
Yes.
Hmm.
Hello. Good morning.
Hello.
How's it going? Yeah,
Good,
it's
good, good.
me.
Oh,
What's happening? It's been a
yeah,
couple of
good.
weeks.
Yep. I was off on vacation last week and we couldn't find a time that made sense, so we skipped a week.
Aye. Yeah. Did you have a relaxing time away? Did you go away?
As yeah, went away in state, and it's the first time we had taken multiple days away from our kid, and it was just very, very quiet.
Left
Like
him at home?
shockingly quiet. Yeah, we just left him, yeah.
Wow. Wow.
For
Cool.
the CPS listening to this, there was adults with him the entire time. Capable adults.
Capable
Um,
adults. Robot vacuums, you mean?
yeah, yes. He had plenty of human drink. He was fine.
Good, good, good. Amazing. How adult of
Yeah, it
you.
was good. It was weird to just like go to bed. Nothing wakes you up. Wake up. Nothing wakes you up.
Whoa.
Sit in silence. But it also felt wrong in a certain way. Like I think you can probably. I think we did one night away from him prior, and I don't remember that feeling then. But like this time, it was multiple nights, and it was like it just felt like something was missing all the time. Like
Mm.
like you know, especially when you see other kids like playing, you're like, oh, I would have loved that. Just silly. It's good.
Yeah, nice. Good.
Feels like a year ago right now.
I'm sure it does. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm just reading some of my
What
show
is?
notes that I input 2 weeks ago, and I'm like, what? What is that? I don't remember doing that.
Yes.
Behell.
Right.
Behell, behell.
Did you happen to read any of this Monster Cable link I put in there?
Yeah, I looked at it. I didn't understand. It's like just Americans suing each other. It's like Americans being Americans. Whatever.
The reason I thought it was relevant here was, um, do you know what Monster Cable even is? Have you heard of
Nah.
it? Do they sell there?
Energy
So
drink?
Monster Cable's a really pretty, probably pretty well known brand of like premium. I don't even know if I call it that. They're a brand of cables that have been around for 20 years that I remember, and you see them on Amazon as like, I need an HDMI cable. And Monster
Okay.
Cable was a brand that was before branded cables were a thing. They became the branded cable for like consumers, basically.
Oh yeah, I can buy them
In
here.
my
Cool.
my like, I could not tell you another brand of cables. Like that's
Sure.
the only one I knew of, and
Yep.
I didn't buy them. They were too expensive. Um, so anyway, I didn't know anything about their backstory, but apparently some guy and his wife started up a company to make cables in Seattle, apparently. This is like a story I saw, I think it was Hacker News or Reddit. And he was in his past 20 plus year career a trademark and patent lawyer.
Yeah.
And he just was like, I want to make cables. Nobody's making them in America. So like I think he was retired or something is my guess. And he started making cables and he called it Blue Jeans Cables or something like that. And
Mm.
Monster Cable decided to send him a cease and desist claiming patent infringement or trademark infringement on the cables. And apparently they do this all the time. This guy was well versed in that they do this and knew he
Ah.
wasn't infringing. And he's a patent and trademark lawyer, and he eviscerated Monster Cable. Like, just like sent them like the craziest, you know, perfectly worded. It's like the most satisfying like fu in legal and like I could read it legalese and very satisfying. He's like, well, if you're gonna take me to court, I welcome it. This is what I did for 20 years. You should know I'm going to request all of these documentations. I need drawings in every view showing how the patents that you referenced don't seem to have any relation to the things you're trying to cease and desist me over. So I don't want you to do this, but you might do it, and you might end up invalidating your patents because you're claiming on
Oh,
them fraudulently. So he's basically turning it back on them, like I will wreck you. I know how to do
wow.
this. It was really satisfying to read.
So what you're saying is we should bookmark this link and use it as a prompt later when we run into issues
Yes,
with
that
someone.
was exactly my thought. Was like I could probably never do this, but hopefully it's nice to see somebody winning the fight back against these like patent trolls that blatantly exceed their claims and try to beat down the competition with lawyers. Basically,
Yeah, nice.
it's satisfying.
I like it. The little guy.
The little successful lawyer, yes.
That little, that little underdog lawyer. Yeah, good news story. I don't think I've got any legal stories this week.
That's
The
good. That's good. That was enough.
yeah, the company, our supplier from last year, who
Oh yeah.
updated all their pricing. Well, no, sorry, that's incorrect. Who were undercharged almost all of 2024, and then we're like, oh, Ken has $25,000, please, in back charges. That situation has almost resolved, not quite. We're still going to pay them $22,000 or
Mm.
something. We've got a bit of
Mm.
a discount, and quite long payment terms, but it's still going to be a nasty lump sum in the next few months. But anyway, that company has since been acquired, just to complicate
Oh,
matters
maybe it'll
further.
get
So
forgotten.
no, I don't. Unfortunately, not. But Laura and I were joking last week because they'd sent about 24 emails out of context with like all these like invoice corrections one after the other, and like I just tagged them all in email and filed them away. I was like, Laura, can you help decombobulate all of this? Anyway, it made quite a lot of extra work just trying to work out what was effectively their issue, which we'd pointed out at the time.
But
And then the company was acquired, and then we received all the invoices again with it on a different letterhead. And anyway, Laura reverse engineered it all and worked out what was owed and blah, 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 and found their mistakes that they'd made. Sent them a spreadsheet, and they were like, yeah, that looks fine. I don't think anyone at their end could even like work out what's going on anymore. So, in good faith, we
mm.
corrected their
Mm.
mistakes to their benefit.
Oh,
And anyway, blah, blah, blah. Fun times.
I'm sorry. That's so stupid.
Yep.
Doing nothing wrong and yeah, still getting screwed with it.
Yeah, well, it's
With
interesting in terms of consumer contract law in Australia. It means, in certain areas, like if your energy supplier tries to pull that trick, they can't. But
ah,
if your timber supplier pulls that trick, then they can backdate pretty much as long as they want if they've
I
mispriced something. So curious.
I told you that healthcare can do that here too. Like it's
Yeah, it's full
seemingly.
on.
I think there's a limit, but it's pretty far out, like years out.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, we just forgot to charge you for your surgery, and I don't know even know what, or like probably like your anesthesia for your surgery, which is probably like a 5-digit number that then like your healthcare wouldn't even be the same healthcare anymore because you'd be on a different plan by then, and like, yeah, fun.
But circling back quickly, while we're
What?
talking about blue jeans and you listening to probably Blink 182 as a 21-year-old,
Yes, I was.
you're on the
No, I was listening to that like
news. What
today.
the hell?
Oh yeah, yeah. Been on the news a few times.
Justin
Thank
was
you.
on the news.
I mean, a town of 300,000 people is not too hard to get on the news
There
for.
were,
So,
there were jump cuts and like zoom cuts, and it was all very zippy
and
and
the worst
exciting.
audio of all time. I should
Blown
put
out
it up
audio.
somewhere.
Yeah, I should drop that clip in.
I'll put a
It's
link
very
to it
cute.
so you can watch it.
Sick.
Um, the backstory is I was looking for something to show Ricky of our laptop prop mold that we made. I think I mentioned it here before. It was like my first product with my friend Nick, my first company. Actually, it's still the same company I have now. Um, he's not a part of it any longer, but we made a Kickstarter in 2011 when we were both in architecture school for a laptop stand. And this all sounds ridiculous now, but at the time, laptops were fire starters. They would run insanely hot. And as architecture students, we were constantly rendering buildings and stuff to make images. And that was inefficient and it would make your computer run even hotter. Like people would literally melt stuff underneath their laptops on accident if they left like a piece of plastic that shouldn't be under there because it just runs at 100% CPU. So we made a laptop stand that lifted it up a little bit. We did pretty well on the Kickstarter, and part of it was because we were just aggressive and like asked the local news to do a story on us, and like
Ah, right. Yeah.
honestly, a lot of it came from basically like desire blogs at the time. Like this thing called Uncrate was really popular and drove a ton of traffic. We won a competition on apartment therapy for like a consumer product and won marketing money, which ended up being nothing. Um, it was a different time for sure. So it was humorous to me because that video is placed in a folder next to our manufacturing, like terrible video that I took that was like 320 pixels wide from 2011. I don't even understand how I have a video that small because even then there was 1080. I don't know how I got a video that small, but there's this ridiculous, super blown out recording from our local news station doing a 3-minute segment on us as well as like innovation in Nebraska at the time. It's
It's
pretty
worth a watch
entertaining.
to see little Justin.
I look like a child.
And bonus points if you go on Google and actually find the original Kickstarter project and watch the video there, because the thumbnail I'm about to
Oh
send you is
no.
just like gold.
That was maybe the worst video. That's like one of the things I'm maybe most ashamed we've ever made. It was just like super
so
smug, goofy
so
ass
so
architecture
jazzy.
students.
Yeah.
Oh, that's shameful. Yeah. First
Link
and
going
last
in the
time I
show
made a
notes,
video like that.
everybody. Check it out.
It's gonna blow up now and like cancel me. I didn't say anything.
Oh yeah.
It was 19-year-old kids, 20-year-old kids
I
doing
know.
stupid things, stupid videos.
Excuse them. But it's a cool product. It's a cool product.
Yeah, it was. It's still we still technically have a patent for it. It's like ending in like a
Wild.
couple of years, and we sell like a dozen a year of them still. But at one point, I was selling hundreds a month, and it was what paid me for a
Wow.
while.
That's amazing.
That was my first taste of products.
That's cool.
A decade, 15 years ago, 12 years ago.
Yeah. It's awesome. And was it injection molded in the end?
Yep.
Yeah. Wow.
I still, there was like blog posts of it. I was trying to show Ricky something about an injection mold, and I was like, oh, I have it. I have a 700
I
pound
got
mold
one.
somewhere. Like it's in Nebraska still. I don't know where the hell it is.
Amazing.
Yep.
Yeah. Cool to see. How's this what's the balance? Job shop versus product right now? Hot take. Where are you at?
Well, March ended pretty poorly. It
Did
was
it?
maybe the worst month we've had in a long time, which is funny because January was the best month we've ever had by a long shot. So could be. I feel unfortunately like signs of things to come, based on what's happening otherwise
Yeah.
politically. And we did start out the month pretty hot, and we've had some better sales product wise. We might have a couple jobs to do, but have no current jobs, job shop wise. And
Job
then
shops. Yep.
we did we did have kind of a design today and came up with a pretty cool new product we're working on and hoping to get out this month. It's pretty different than everything else we've had. And then we've also made spacers. And as I asked you about the color, I decided we're going to do colors because I think it'll be a
Cool.
little more identifiable. But we made something we need to do forever: different spacers for the dust boot, and they're specifically for the new slim brushes because how they fit into ATC racks needs to be slimmer than our original one, and we only had an original profile. And I just was like, God damn it, I need to do this. And so, like 2 nights ago, I just spent 2-3 hours after everybody went to bed and knocked it out and had it one printed in my garage by the time I went to bed, basically, and took it to work, and it worked fine. So we have those now.
So does
Great
that mean
drinking.
the brush height can pretty much remain consistent and you just adapt your stack up depending on what you're doing? Nice.
Yeah. For from the beginning, I want to say the first few months, we had a half-inch spacer made out of sheet HDPE. It was just like the brush plate without the slots.
Yep.
And so you could stack those up. And this is more or less the same thing. And then we also have since it's printed now, a 40 mil height version. This is 15. And then I might do a 60, which is a little bit crazy. And so you'll still be able to stack all of them, but the 15s are kind of more intended to make little makeups, and then the larger ones, I was thinking like allow you to have a larger offset and it's all smooth wall on the inside. They're a little bit more contained.
It's cool. And I
Well,
think, I
also
don't know,
images.
it feels like printing's really suitable for it because they're going to be so much lighter than machined
Yeah.
HDPE
Yes.
components, which for that stack up you don't want them to getting too heavy and falling off, or I don't know. This makes sense.
I mean, the reality too, which is crazy, and I've said this the whole time, it's one of my mental self defenses of printing, and I don't know, printing plastic never feels great to me, but it's a necessary evil to some degree for some of these industrial products. And when we make them out of HDPE, we have all this drop in the center because you're making a freaking big loop.
So much.
And so we've tried to think of products you could use out of the drop, and it's never really materialized. And so we recycle it as best we can, but it's like you're probably using 20% of a sheet,
He's
like
talking
actually
about
using.
offcuts. Australians.
Yes, drop of material. Offcuts. We sometimes call it drop, or often.
Not the drop in the EDM track that's about to.
Yeah. So anyway, we've always been like, God, that's so much wasted material that we're not using, and so like the spacers are just perfect out of printed material because I can loft them as tall as I want in a configuration and fusion, and then dump them out, and they print perfectly.
Nice. That's great. I noticed in maybe one of your videos you had like a nice little arrangement on the end of your shop saber with like boot accessories racked up. Neat little rack.
Ricky keeps them on the end of
dig it.
Front of the machine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they magnetize to things.
Oh, they're just snapping onto the sheet metal.
Mm-hmm.
Cute. Yep. That's cool. Nice.
Yep.
I like it.
What's up with you?
Cool.
It's a lot of me talking.
What's happening? What's been happening? Finally got some good, as you pointed out, some good traction. It's so funny you messaged the other day saying, looks like the Kit Parts Builder is getting some momentum. And I was like, yeah, maybe it is. And I had a look. I was like, oh, yeah, we've had like 4 orders this week that have converted. And then another one came in, and another one that night. And so, no, it's good.
It's amazing.
March hasn't been great either, but it is been, of the 3 months this year, has been the strongest, I think.
Wow.
But it's still well under target overall for the month. But so it feels like things are picking up. Jobs are starting to convert more, and there's some good leads that are sort of close to converting. Anyway, but yeah, awesome to see some sales coming through the new DIY configurator. I've completely retired the paid one, even though I think we'll still pay another month's or maybe even two. No,
Yeah.
one more month subscription on it.
What's funny is that like sunk cost of still paying on it, you're
Yeah,
actually just think of it as like it wasn't converting, so you're making
yeah,
more money paying for it currently than you were if you just left it on the whole time.
yeah, totally. So that's working well. The text line's working really well. I've had a lot of great conversations on text and WhatsApp this last couple of weeks. People shooting through messages and resulting in sales, and um, that's been really satisfying. I've rolled that link out into
It's
the builder
amazing.
as well now. I'm just like, I think,
Hey,
you
that was
prompted
quick.
me. You said make an appointment
Yeah.
on the builder, and I was
Yeah.
like, I don't want appointments, but I'm happy for people to text me. So I, I'm happy for people to interrupt me at any time of the day. So I added that little link.
Fine, I
Um,
guess. Yeah.
so yeah, it's been satisfying. I haven't really developed it any further. It's still got all sorts of weird bugs in it, but people are using it, and I feel like confidence is quite high. Like I had $5,000 sale in it last week and $6,000 sale in it this week. So yeah, people,
It's
it's
so
good.
amazing how well like something that we talked about when you first started, like I'm going to pay this company, and that you could have written off that it was just not, it wouldn't have worked for you since their builder didn't work, their configurator, but that it just took a better design. It took something more simple, easier for the customer to use, more. I mean, you've done, I honestly, you did things that I didn't think you would be able to figure out very easily with all these like autocomplete features with like, oh, add all
Mm.
the caps and all the dowels. It's really quite nice. It's fantastic.
I'm regretting not doing a speed run before I turned the other one off. Actually, I could probably still log in and do that. Of just do a side by side of like, not that I want to drag them through the dirt or like, oh look how much better mine is, but I'm curious as to like how much faster it is to build the same thing because anecdotally it's like ridiculously quicker. Um, but
Yeah.
what
I
was I
don't
going
think
to
I bit.
say?
I don't usually like shine people on, but I don't think I fully gave you my real feelings at the time of like this is like really slow. And yours was always slower than mine, which is always crazy to me that their like servers were so
The
far
server
away that
speed.
from
Yeah,
you all it was like painfully slow. And I was like, it's not even fast here. We have
yeah,
servers. Just frustrating.
yeah. But yeah, that's ticking along. But otherwise, custom sales are pretty slow. Had yeah, pretty slow on the workshop floor in terms of jobs to do. But we've done a few. Oh, we finished those non-ideal cabinet jobs this week. Got them out. Doing
Okay.
another few non-ideal jobs that are coming through. But I don't know. It's slowly going. I'm sort of we've had a few more weeks lately which are closer to the weekly revenue target, and so things are feeling slowly on the up. But we didn't get that sort of March uptick that we'd hoped in terms of
Yeah. Yeah.
recovery. But yeah,
Right.
it's okay. We'll get there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Laura and I are pretty actively considering moving the business. Haha.
Yeah.
um, about building a shed, only about a quarter of the size of this one, or half to a quarter of the size of this one at home on our property,
Yeah.
and potentially moving the whole shop there. Kind of doing or getting quotes,
And take your
and
solar panels with you.
they won't be enough. We've only got 33 kilowatts of solar on this roof, and we need about 50 or 60 to run the operation properly off grid because there's no mains power where we live.
Oh,
Um,
wow. I didn't know that.
yeah, so it'd be a proper off grid battery, 3 phase solar battery system, and the quotes on that are quite phenomenal. Scary, the sort of numbers we're crunching at the moment. Um, yeah, pondering those ideas. Selling this, building something at home, being closer to the kids for the next sort of 10 to 15 years, and just having less mortgage, basically.
Do you think
Because,
that
yeah.
selling the current building will be easy?
Don't know. The agents were super positive about it.
Oh,
They're like, this is great. There's very little stock of this quality in this town. I think you'll sell it pretty easily.
oh, that's good, man.
Agents talk shit. Even the ones we
Yeah.
like, they're going to talk stuff up. But yeah, their sort of valuation was much higher than we expected. And we're like, oh, okay, yeah, maybe does have legs.
In my
Hmm.
my spiraling, that feels pretty smart, unless you're planning to just hang on forever and get through what's going to happen in the next few years, but it doesn't feel like anything's going to be good soon. But I don't know if I really want to go down that path too far
That rabbit
here.
hole. Yeah, it feels. Yeah, it feels a bit crazy to be considering it, but it also feels very right. Um, we want to maintain we want to maintain our throughput. Like we're not looking to downsize again. We're like, cool, yeah, this is a this is a good level of output, production wise, staff wise. We just need one less mortgage in our lives, and it'd be awesome to do away with that expense. So
Could you effectively pay it outright with your equity and everything, building the new building?
we could potentially wipe out
Not
both
to get
home and workshop mortgages in one shot, which at this time in history feels
that's
like a
amazing.
great time to be out of owing the bank the best part of $1 million. So we'll see.
That sounds pretty smart.
So yeah, we're toying with those ideas. Getting sheds quoted, solar systems quoted. Did I tell you about all the batteries I bought on
I think we like
online
vaguely
last year?
stumbled on it, but yeah, maybe. But how many batteries? How many? How many do you
I've
got there,
kept
Jim?
eyeing them. I found these really cheap lithium batteries. There was like a
Lithium batteries.
solar company that went bust in Australia last year, and then the secondhand
Yep.
market was
Yep.
flooded with these new, unused, still in boxes, like solar batteries.
Yeah.
And I've bought about 70 kilowatt hours so far at a very, very cheap rate. Anyway, the solar installers I've chatted to are like, it's too much of a risk for us to sort of integrate, a module that we don't use every day, like insurance wise. It's a bit tricky for us to sort of do
That's
that. And I'm
because they're
like, yeah,
making no money on it.
I figured, yeah, and you're not making your margin. I figured it was a long shot, but I've had this harebrained scheme of like, cool, all right, well, you guys install your smallish battery that you want to put in, and then I'll build like a DIY, the biggest UPS ever, which I can just plug in whenever I need it from my batteries. Haha. But
Yeah. Well, you have that relative that's an electrician, so
I do, yeah.
just just tell him you don't need batteries. Yeah. Hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, that's amazing. I'm super jealous of that. And I'd say also that from a a non uh what would you say? I was going to say patriot. That doesn't make any sense. A non countryman. It feels like moving to a smaller shed on your own property, but having it be like high tech still is like still incredibly on brand. Maybe more on brand than your current shop. It almost feels too big and too outfit.
Yep. Yeah, I've been thinking that too. Particularly if I can get a
Not to say
cobot,
that's wrong. It's just
bring the robots home.
yeah. Yes. Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would love to build a shop on my property. I don't have space for that. So
Mm.
cool.
Yeah.
I made a short-ish Patreon video because Patrick had asked about what sim theory was
Cool.
like. And to be completely honest, sim theory is pretty bad at marketing itself. Like in terms of they don't publish pricing anymore. I cannot find pricing. I had a couple friends ask about it because I had mentioned it, and I think where we paid for it, we got some grandfathered rate, but I still can't find public pricing data on it at all, which is pretty frustrating. But I was like, well, since you can't see a lot of this stuff, I'm just going to make a quick video. So we also haven't plugged the Patreon in forever, but if you'd like to support the show, you can also see our little videos we make. And every once in a while, we make an extra video or an extra show that we put on there. That might be more pertinent as we're considering do some guest shows,
Yeah.
as in have guests that aren't Gemini and Dawn. And so that might be happening too. So that might play into. He kind of got killed. Kind of put him in the home. Anyway, if you'd like to see it, I'll put a link to the Patreon, and yeah, you can help pay for the show.
Do that. I want to see that. I saw it pop up and I was like, oh, I can't watch it because I couldn't remember how to log into Patreon. But I will check that out because I'm curious as to what you shared.
You have to pay for it, Jim.
I have to pay for it. Yeah, that's right.
I'm going to make another one, a short little video here too on somebody had asked, I think it was you even, I want to make a video on our product guides that we use in the shop. So
sweet, yeah.
Not something I want to share fully wide open, but I'll put it on Patreon for you guys.
Nice.
If you'd like to see how we make those, what we do.
I was reading this note. I was like, that's not me. And then I remembered that it was me driving and texting the show notes from your cool SMS show note creator. And it's what I was trying to remember what the hell this name was. It says Christini Fantasies. Yeah, it's supposed to say.
And that says haha.
It's supposed to say consulting on manufacturing and Chris Zappatini Fantasies.
Oh, that's good. The Christini.
So, Christini. Hi, Chris.
Christini. Consulting on manufacturing.
The part-time co-host of With Intolerance, if you're a listener.
Yes. The Catch-Up podcast host.
Yes. I did some manufacturing consulting the other week for the first time I've done that in a paid capacity. I think I've done a lot of informal consulting just through meeting clients. But for the first time, I put a proposal together and I charged what I thought was a lot of money for an afternoon's work. And then by the time I'd finished said work, I was like, oh, damn, they got a good deal.
More.
They got so much more than they paid for.
All right.
But that's okay.
I feel that way too.
But yeah, an old ex-client of ours who we used to make their product, they were looking to take manufacturing on themselves in-house, after we stopped doing it, they've cycled through a few other third-party providers and they now want to bring it in-house. And so we're our favorite in terms of prior experience. They're like, hey, can you come in, help us on site, think about how we're going to do this, what machines we need, how it's all going to work. And so, yeah, I went to Melbourne and did that for an afternoon and wrote a pretty comprehensive report. But it was cool. And driving home, I had GPT on voice mode on the way to drive home, about an hour and a half, and I pretty much did 80% of the report whilst driving, just making notes to the bot. And it was in one of those focus modes where it was just editing a document, which is rad. I can't work out how to get back into that mode, but it worked so well for driving and editing, because I was like, cool, now add a section on blah, 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 blah. And it wasn't just like spitting out huge amounts of copy every time. It was just going, cool, I made that change. And then when I got home, I was like, wow, yeah, like it's pretty much all here. Can't remember what that function's called, but it's good. Anyway, driving home, I was like, what? Maybe this is kind of what Chris Zappatini does, because I'm not 100% clear. Like, he's obviously some sort of CNC consultant. He writes programs for companies. specs
I think it's
machines.
called
I don't know,
being a
but
guru.
a guru, yeah.
Yeah, guru.
Um, and I
Yeah,
was,
just seems
yeah,
like
it's
he has
cool.
immense knowledge of manufacturing processes and the CAD to get it there, as well as like training people on how to. I think a lot of what he's been doing lately is turnkey, which is like we have a part, we don't know how to we don't have in-house programmers that can handle this. Can you make us fixtures? Can you make us? We need to make 10,000 of these parts. How would we do it?
Yeah,
Put it on my machine. Show my people how to run it. It's what he's been talking about the last few months.
it's cool. Um, and yeah, I was as I was driving and doing my report, I was like, oh, I should call Davis, who's the rep from Mekio, who's the Brisbane. They sell Datron machines in Australia. I think they're the Datron
Oh,
supplier, but they also
cool.
sell cobots, and this is the guy I've been chatting cobots with. So I gave him a
Yep.
call. I was like, I think I've got a potentially got a cobot painting application for you. Can you get me some pricing on a
Ooh.
cobot with a painting rig for these guys? I want to
Yep.
include it in my report. And I was chatting to him about what I've been doing, like moonlighting as a manufacturing consultant. He was like, "Well, if you enjoy it, we need more of it in Australia." It was like he said, "There's high demand. There's not enough people doing it. So
You need another job. Yeah.
get on
Same
it."
with me.
It's like, yeah, cool, sure. In what time? Which hour of
Yeah.
the day am I doing that? But sure, that sounds fun.
Between 12 and 4 a.m. You can do it.
Yes. Um, but it was very pleasing to do a paid activity where there was no material outgoings. It's like, cool. This income is just actually straight income,
Yeah.
which is an
That's
unusual
one of the nice
feeling.
things about selling course material for me is all that time is just up front and sometimes questions, but it's a really great feeling because it's like in the second it goes from unpaid to paid, I've done all my work, like
Yeah.
it's just done. Um, and those things are really slowed down. It was very hot in the pandemic, and it seems
Mm.
like for whatever reasons it's not as, or my SEO doesn't work as well. I don't know, something, but yeah, I'm glad you found some of that because it's pretty appealing. It is always hard to like make the decision on like what you want to support, I suppose, and like especially if it's competing against yourself, your own
Mm.
business.
Yeah, it was interesting to be in a position where I mean, this has kind of been the case the whole time we've had this. When we had these people as a client, like we've been much more familiar, and we know a lot more about their product than they seemingly know themselves.
Yeah.
Which is just because we're in it, we're in the weeds manufacturing it.
Yep. Yep.
Um,
Makes
and it was
sense.
yeah, it was nice to be in a position where it's been a couple of years. I still am very familiar with all the processes. I'm just like, yeah, I can absolutely add value to this conversation. No
Yeah.
doubt. So
Very
yeah,
cool.
that's cool.
So back to the sim theory discussion. I had
Mm,
heard, I think it was Theo, the YouTuber. I watch a couple of YouTubers, and he's got his own chat that it's basically the same as sim theory. It's the same concept where you're like buying a subscription to use all the different models. And so he always reports on what the new things that have just come out on all these different AI things. And so he'd said, GPT 4.5 is just so amazing, but it's just like so expensive and costly. But it's really good at sounding human like. And so I don't even remember what the hell I was trying to do, but I apparently my subscription for Sim Theory had just renewed like that day
yeah.
because it was like the 21st, I think. So it's been, what, a week or something like that. And so I was like, well, let's try 4.5. I'm trying to do this. I don't remember what it was. Write something. And I want it to sound as human like as possible. And I think I want to say less than 10 commands or requests. So,
Well,
and all of a sudden Sim Theory popped up a new window I'd never seen before. And it's like, you are out of tokens. And I was like, what? What
What?
do you mean? And it wasn't like generating images or crazy
Yeah.
anything. It was like just chat window. It went through all of my, and I'm on the $20 a month plan there now too, the second tier, blew
Mm.
it all in less than 10 commands with GPT 4.5. And I was
It's crazy.
like, oh no, I need it. I need it the rest of the month. What? I've just been holding off and I haven't spent any more money, but
Yeah.
so I don't use 4.5 anymore.
No. I, it's right, maybe after you messaged about that, I was like, oh, 4.5, eh? Eh? And Laura, because Laura's
Greedy
been
bastard.
working on the website a little bit, just up doing some minor copy updates and kind of trying to improve readability and
Yeah.
communication and stuff. And we were looking at one of our suppliers' website. And we buy some packaging supplies from them. Laura was like, I really like the copy on this website. It's quite funny. Like, it's got a nice feel, a nice sense of humor. I looked at it. I was like, yeah, it's kind of cool. It's a bit overdone, but like, it's entertaining. And I screenshotted a page on my phone, and then I was like, hang on. So 4.5 is supposed to be like the best human-esque writer right now. Let me give this screenshot.
Right.
And just in the GPT app. So it knows who I am, it knows my products and stuff to some extent. I was like, hey, look at the style of this copy, and can you create some landing page copy for Kidder Parts? Or crates, I can't remember what I put in first. And it just nailed the shit out of it. And it's like, wrote this funny, like I was reading it, smiling and laughing as I read this copy from this first prompt. I was like, damn, that's impressive. And the thing about it that was most amazing is because Laura is entirely an AI cynic. She doesn't touch it. She won't use it. We're at extreme opposite ends of the spectrum in terms of our engagement with the technology. And
it's exactly
because,
the same as Aaron
particularly on the writing side of things, because she's an academic, she's done her PhD, blah, 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 blah. She writes very well and enjoys writing. And so she's particularly sour on the writing, copywriting element. Anyway, it passed the test because she was like, oh, this is actually great. I like this. So that felt like a bit of a breakthrough. But yeah, I'm sure I burnt some credits that night. But I wasn't doing it through Sim Theory. That was just in the chatty app. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. One thing, I don't know if we've not talked about this, making that video, I had kind of forgotten that when you make an assistant in Sim Theory, and you can just edit this after you've done it, you can have it, I think maybe you have to be on the second tier plan, I'm not really sure. But you can have it repeatedly on a frequency you set. Say it's like, I think I do weekly, the assistant for parts department, where I like make some stuff for the show, like summaries and stuff from the transcript. I have it scrape the department.parts website weekly. And so it's constantly got an updated like knowledge of the show, which is just amazing. Like so cool to like not have to like keep giving it new data.
Yeah, it's a very cool function. I did, my main agents that I use all do that. They scrape like the Butter website every week or every month or something for updates. And depending on what their task is, I get them to scrape. Like my coding one scrapes like kind of up to like just some document, whatever environment or language I'm using, it scrapes some websites so sort of up to date, know how to best practice sort of stuff. Yeah, it's good. It's a cool function. It is on the second tier, the $20 a month one. I think that skill is enabled, but yeah, I really like that. It's cool.
Yeah, I gotta pause for a second. Say something, please.
Hello. Say something nice.
Oh, God, that's better. I was say something nice. I need something nice. My ears were. It was like progressively getting more and more echo into a distant world, and I was like, I can't take it anymore.
Say something nice.
Say that's a good.
I already sent you something nice in the Slack channel. That very flattering
You
image
did.
for
That's
your Kickstarter.
fantastic.
Yeah.
So to go back to just because you brought it up again, I was going to say when we tried to film that, my friend Nick went to Princeton for architecture grad school, and I was still in Nebraska. And so to make this video, flew out to Princeton.
Oh wow.
We kind of hung out there, and then we're like, let's go to New York. Maybe we can find a place to film the video there. We literally wandered around carrying a camera around trying to film the intro to this video. Ended up just going back to Princeton into like a studio with a white wall and filmed it in some like weren't supposed to be in the room too. Like but the whole thing wasn't really none of it was planned. And so it's the worst
Awesome.
audio, the worst lighting, terrible script, video, I swear.
Check it out. Linked in the show notes. This note feels slightly less relevant now, but because I've had a better week. But last week I was aware, as I was quoting, and I still do Loom videos with almost every quote.
Wow.
And I was like, wow, I'm really not feeling it at the moment. Like, I became self-aware of like, wow, I'm pretty much having to like slap myself into like camera mode every time I do one of these. It's like, put the smile on, Jim. Come on, stay positive. It's like,
Influencer Gem, come on.
oh, you're not even just like positive, Jim. Come on, you enjoy your
Your
job.
job's probably not going to go very well, but we'll still do it.
Okay. No, I think it was just a reflection of like, yeah, weeks on weeks of like slow sales.
Yep.
That emotion. It's that bloody emotional connection to the bank balance again. Of just like, damn, this is not going very well. Got to break this link, but feeling it and aware that I have to sort of put on my Showtime face sometimes, but yeah.
So what was is that what the fake smile? Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I thought maybe you had like an AI tool
Oh,
in Loom that
yeah.
was giving you fake smiles.
Override my sour face in videos. Yeah, that'd be creepy.
I think Descript had a thing where it could lock your eyes straight ahead or something like that, and I tried it and it just crashed, and I was like, nah, don't need that.
Messed up.
But go ahead.
But what? Oh, I had a win. I think I was out of a conversation with Susie, the Sim Theory agent
Scottish
therapist. I was like, I got to do something about my phone, particularly in the evenings when I'm home with the kids. I've just got to get it out of my hands. And so one night, oh no, it was Pi. I'd had a great conversation with Pi. Sorry about casting doubt on Pi the other week. Pi, whilst driving, is fantastic for long form conversations. Yeah, so good. Anyway, I had a chat to Pi about my phone usage and had workshopped this idea of like, cool, when I get home tonight, I'm going to ask my daughter to hide my phone for the next 4 hours, which she took great pleasure in doing. And I was like, cool, this will get it out of my hands. It'll stop me being aware of it. And maybe I'm setting a good example of like her seeing me kind of monitoring my own device usage, maybe. Anyway, that worked quite well. And
did you get a back cover?
Yeah. Yeah. I actually forgot to ask her before she went to sleep where it was. So I had to use like the Find My Phone function to make it
Find My Phone.
And
woke them up again.
It was so well hidden in like this, like, inside like a doll's house in a box on the bookshelves.
In a doll's house. It's amazing.
But
it's like Barbie's just up against the giant phone.
I've done that a few times, but I had one moment where I was just like, yes, this is good. Like I put my phone away at one point during the week, and then my hands were idle and didn't know what to do with myself. And then I just literally sat still for 2 minutes, less than 2 minutes. I was like, oh yeah, I've got that old robot vacuum because I've always been envious of you, the fact that you've got a shop bot in your, like a RoboVac in your shop. And I was like, that's right, I've got that old Samsung one in a box that died a couple of years ago. I should have a look at that again because I tried fixing it once before. Anyway, I broke it out, the box, looked at it, went and found my phone, jumped into the GPT app and just started chatting to it and taking photos of the guts and the circuit board and stuff and fixed the damn thing. And it was such a satisfying experience of like I gave my brain enough idle space to be like, oh yeah, there's that thing I wanted to do that I think about but
Yep.
never get to. Gave myself that moment of idle time and then executed it. And I was like, satisfaction. More brain idle. Yeah.
So many cool little. I feel like it happens so often now. I don't even remember to talk about them because I'm just like always finding some like mind blowing thing that you're basically constantly thinking of some new thing you can do with it and then doing it and then you're like, oh yeah,
cool,
awesome, moving on.
Yeah. So we're gonna get a guest.
Yeah, I think it might make sense.
Could be cool.
Joe and I have been talking about forever to tease it, and then may never happen, I suppose. But we've thought about having some guests. We thought about having some guests when each of us went on paternity leave to keep the show going. But probably won't be something where we're gonna take over most of the show time every week, or it'd be like replacing a show, but not like throughout the month, right? Like it'd be maybe once or something through a month. Just see how it goes. There's a lot of people I think we are curious to talk to, and it sounds like something fun. And I sometimes get envious of Dylan and with Intolerance and the cool guests he has, and I'm like, that'd be kind of fun. So
yeah, let's do it. If you are as much of a small manufacturing dog as us, please do self-nominate.
Yes,
feel free to.
Oh yeah,
because I know there's a lot of interesting people listening to this, and we've got ideas. And we've even got a juicy lead for someone who's wears much bigger boots than us, which could be fun. But yeah, could be cool.
Yeah. I don't think I have it. Let me see. We'll take the second to look.
He's finding a button.
I do have it. Here we go.
So loud.
And now it's profit time.
Do you like how seamless that was?
Yeah, it's blasting. Do tell.
I had to pay my insurance. And if you remember, I started saving for it. I had double the amount of money needed in my timing account to pay for my insurance. And I was like, been so stressed out about money lately, and I was like, hey, this worked.
Shit, yeah.
I did something, past Justin did something that worked well. This is great. Especially with money.
Sick.
I had hidden away enough money that I didn't have to think about it. It was delightful. I wish I could do that. Maybe I need to be more aggressively hiding money away from myself and then discover it when I need. It's like, oh, this is rainy day fund 3.
Did you actually hide it? Was it a hidden account?
Nah, it's just so the way Mercury works is it only shows the first 5 accounts or something on the main page, and you have to click to go see the rest of them. So timing, profit, capital expenses are all below the fold.
Nice.
So I know they're there. I just don't look at them.
Yeah.
Which is just great.
Perfect.
So that's it. You should use profit first, right?
No, that's cool. That's good news. Yeah, you're not super happy with the updates we made to our system, the spreadsheet. They're just a bit finicky. Yes, they're kind of smarter. They're a bit too smart, I think. I'm missing the simple straight up percentages of last year a little bit. Because what happened now that we've got some fixed values in there, like insurance and payroll and stuff. I mean, it's great to be saving for insurance, like your win. And it's great to be able to pretty much consistently cover payroll every fortnight because there's been enough put in regardless of what the revenue was.
Payrolls.
It's a bit finicky. If we're under target, it does some weird stuff, and you got to go, oh, that shouldn't be a negative. Cool, okay, jiggle, jiggle,
Hmm.
jiggle. All right, that looks better now. And it's just a bit faffy, which doesn't please me.
Can you dump Can you dump that
Uh,
into Claude or SimTheory or something and just say,
Claude,
hey, this isn't working well?
maybe I should try that. I haven't done the few times I've given it spreadsheet jobs. It's done a crap job, but honestly, I haven't tried that for a while. So, yeah, it's a good idea.
I've tried
Should
to
do
have
that.
it make spreadsheets, and my God, that also can be a disaster.
Yeah, I've
Just
tried
sometimes
using
it's like,
Gemini for that, like in Google Drive, and it's just
yeah,
been atrocious. But yes, I'll give it a
yeah.
whirl. But otherwise, yeah,
I
might go back to a simpler system.
still haven't set up any tracking in spreadsheets of like what you had started that sheet. I haven't updated it for the new year at all yet, which is
Oh yeah, okay,
delightful.
yeah,
The system is working otherwise. I'm just not
good.
like planning or tracking it in a spreadsheet. So
Yep. I'm here. Um, cool. I better go. Actually, I got to pack a van and then take a kid to school. Pack a van.
okay.
But nice to catch up.
I was thinking about it. Missed you. I miss this. Can't skip.
Can't go without it, babe.
This is my unpaid therapy. In America, we need that.
You do everything you can get.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Mm-hmm. It's a safe space.
Mm.
Okay. Bye bye.
Ding dong.